My name is Fernando. I'm going to present our binder API. I have a presentation here. So just you guys to, if you have any question, please let me know. But I think we prefer to let the questions at the end of the session, okay? Today, I'm going to present the binder solution, how we have structured so far. I have a presentation here. As you guys can see, the first chapter is a little bit of introduction. So this diagram pretty much explains what I'm going to talk about today. As you can see, everything, the API binder that I'm talking about is this component here. We call it Vansah API, which is version 2 at the moment. So the main idea behind is to be able to integrate automation tools or even any third-party applications that you want to integrate with Vansah Jira. We have our binder, which makes this communication possible, okay? So as example, you can eventually integrate Postman, Selenium, Rest Assured, Karate, and other automation tools that you have in your tool set. Using the same structure is nice because you can use different release, different environment, and different build and different tests by using the same binder and creating different results for different configurations in our continuous integration environment. Just a bit of overview how the binder works. So if you want to post, if you want to send the results, you can simply use the post request. And in the same way, if you want to get something from Vansah side, you use the HTTP GET method, like usual, okay? All response is transferred via JSON format and UTF-8 encoding. Here's the list of the main endpoints that we can consume. We have at the moment 7 different endpoints. I'm going to talk about it more later about those, okay? But just to give you guys an idea what they are about. So the next section is actually using the binder for the automation based on language. As I said, the current version of the binder is version 2. We were able to make this process much simpler now. We removed a few classes that we used to have. We also used to have a config file, which is no longer required. So the process is more productive and simpler now. We have plans to release this binder in different languages in our roadmap, such as .NET, C#, JavaScript, Ruby, and Python. Okay, at the moment, the binder is written in Java language. Okay. The binder Java version can be found on GitHub. So there is a link. So by the way, this is the knowledge base. This is a public material that you guys can go there and consume and see how it works. So if you click on GitHub link, this is a public repository. It takes you to the binder code. Okay, you can see different files here, but the most important one is under CRC Java folder. This is the Java class that we want to include in your automation project or any other third-party application. Okay. Cool. So next step, I'm going to show how to add the binder to your project. So the first step is to download the API binder from GitHub. So if you go to the repository, and clicking on code, you can download the zip file, or if you are using the GitHub application tool in your local machine, you can just connect via URL if you prefer. Okay, let's keep simple for now. I'm going to download the file. Cool. Just going back to the presentation so we can follow the steps. Okay, so adding the Vansah Java binding to your project, step 1 is just about downloading the file and unzip the file. So you go to download, you just extract the content. You can see the folder with some files, but again, you just need to look for this file here under Java folder, the Vansah Jira Java class, okay? So just going back to the presentation, the next step is pretty much adding the file to your project. So you just copy the Java class to your Selenium project. I have an example here under my GitHub folder, automation demo. So this is a Selenium / Maven / Java project, okay, that I have here in my local machine. So again, the idea is just to copy the Vansah, the Java class to a specific folder here, which is crc main java con test point. We suggest to create a folder called binding and just place the file here, okay? So step 2 is all about how to copy the file and explains how we are suggesting to create the folder structure like this, okay? This pretty much is a simple process. After you copy the file, is recommended you to refresh your Selenium project. In my case, I'm using Eclipse as my IDE. So you just need to refresh to make sure you are bringing the file to your project. I think it's a good practice as well to clean. Sometimes Eclipse gets a little bit confused. You can also build the project, okay? Nice. So now you have the binder already included in your project. Step 3, you need to add 3 dependencies in your Maven POM file. Okay, for those who are already familiar with how Maven works, we just need to copy these 3 dependencies and bring it to your project objective model file, okay, which is a Maven file. Just open it up and include the dependencies here in your POM, okay? Also, you do this, it's also recommended to update the Maven project, like you go in here, Maven, update project, and click OK. Okay, so if you do this, Maven will download the libraries for you. This is required because the binder uses specific libraries, which is required to make the HTTP calls to Vansah, right? Cool. I can close this up. Okay, now we included the dependencies. The step 4 is just a matter of importing your library to your Selenium script, okay? As the first step, as we can see here, import con.testpoint.binding Vansah Jira. So you go to your Selenium script. In my case, I have under test case folder. And you need to import this Java class to your Selenium script, like so, okay? Cool, next step. you need to create a new instance of the Java class. You need to create a new object, Vansah Jira, in your Selenium script. So you go Vansah Jira, you give a name, you create a new instance of the component which is required to access the methods we have in the binder. So if you want to prove that the configuration is done, you just need to do a simple test here in your test method and go Vansah Jira dot. You should be able to see the list of available methods we have in the binder. Add quick test, add test log, test run, okay? Remove test log. So which means your configuration is properly done. Okay, so let me just go back. Okay, so at this stage, your project is already configured to start connecting to Vansah Jira. Okay. Next step, which is a very important one, you need to generate a Vansah API token in order to be able to create this communication between automation and Vansah side. Okay, let me bring Vansah now. I think I prefer showing here. Yeah, so this is Vansah for Jira. You need to go to project settings. You go to apps, Vansah project setting. And there is an option here called API keys. Okay, you first need to create your Atlassian API token, and then you'll be able to create your Vansah API token. Okay, it's a simple process. Create this one first, and then you'll be able to create the API token. We have a short video here at the bottom of this section, which shows exactly step by step how to create the tokens, which is pretty simple. Okay. Also, you create the API token, you need to bring this token to your project, right? So there is a handy button here. You copy the token, go to your Selenium project, open the Vansah Jira binder, and I will take the opportunity to show something here to you guys. So this is the code of the binder. Is everything in one single class with proper comments if you want to understand what each method is doing. You have a few other informations here to help you understand how we have come up with the binder solution. But anyway, if you scroll up and go to around line 44, line 43, you should include your API token here, okay? The one you copied from Vansah. This is the security way we keep automation and Vansah Jira integrated. Another thing here is important to mention is that sometimes you are working behind a proxy and you need to configure your proxy by adding the host server and the port number, okay? You just put the server name and the port number here. Another thing, sometimes you don't want to keep sending results to Vansah. You don't want to send any log because you are creating scripts, you are debugging a script, and you want to stop the communication between Vansah. There is a handy flag here, so you just need to change from 1 to 0. It means nothing is going to be sent to Vansah, okay? Yeah, so 1 means the communication will work and then you are ready to go. Okay, so let me close this. And then let me just go back to the presentation. Nice. Let me just give you a summary on the endpoints themselves. So this is If you want to have more information about the endpoints, there is a documentation, a link here you can click and learn more about each of the endpoints. You can check the required parameters for each of them. So we have everything documented here. You can go through and get more information how the endpoints are structured. So I think the first one, the main important one, is the post add test run, is when you want to create a new test run in Jira. This is important because if you want to include a new test log, you need first to create a new test run. Okay, that's how you can link more than one test to the same run in Vansah, right? So this is the add test run. The next one is add test log. Here you are actually creating a test result in Vansah. There are a few parameters that you can send. For example, if you pass 0 is not applicable, 1 it means is a fail case, 2 is a pass, and 3 not tested. Okay, so first you create a new test run and then you add a test log. So both will be linked in Vansah. I'm going to show this later a little bit more. The next one, post again, you can even remove a test run from the binder perspective. You can control this using the API as well. If you want to remove a run previously created, you can. You can even update a test log. Let's say you create the test log, your script failed to click in a specific object and you want to try again, like a self-healing process you have implemented in your script, you can call update test log and change the status of the test log. You have this control as well. You can remove the test log if you want. You can add a quick test. This is a bit different of an add test log because add test log you are interested to test a specific test step, okay, add test log. But add quick test is more an overall test result. You are not worried if the specific test step has failed or passed. You just want to give the result like an overall result. Okay, so you don't need to pass the step as a parameter. But again, you can also control the status of the overall status of that specific script you are working on. Okay, and also you don't need to create a test run when you are using quick test. Quick test is going to create a test run for you automatically. And finally, our only get endpoint, which is test script. Test script returns to you the test script for a given case key. For example, let me just open one test case here in Vansah. The one I'm working is 133. So this is my test case. If I go to test script, we have 2 steps for test case 1 through 3, navigate to test point website. I have expected result for that step. And the second one, check for a performance icon is displayed, is visible, okay? And if you call test script, this endpoint is going to return you like an array of the step order, the description of the step, and the expected result. Okay, this is important in case you want to create a more advanced test framework in your preferred automation tool. Okay, you can even control how many times you are going to run a specific step. It's just to give you more tools and powerful to create a more advanced framework. Right. Finally, I have a error handling section. This is all the errors you can get when you are working with the binder, in case you are missing a header, if you have problems with your API token, you might get unauthorized. If your session is invalid, if you have problems with your email password, duplicate data found. So this is helpful in case you are debugging any issue you are having with the binder. And just keep in mind that the binder is going to print the errors for you. If you are using Eclipse, for example, you see the HTTP errors here in the console, which is pretty helpful to debug and understand when something goes wrong. All right, so this is the end of the presentation. So now I'm going to actually show how everything works in a practical example. Cool. So this is my Selenium script. Just remember, we imported the library, we refreshed the project, we added dependencies in the Maven POM file, we update the project, we import the library here, the binder, sorry. We create a new instance, and then we have to tell the Selenium script which test case in Vansah we are going to work with, right? So there are a couple of required parameters that we need to pass here. For example, test case, you pass the test case ID. In my case, it's 133. This parameter is mandatory and needs to exist in Vansah. Environment as well. In case I'm using UAT at the moment, again, it's mandatory and needs to exist. The release that you are going to work with. So if you go to Vansah, you can configure different release and here, right? So your release needs to exist here, so you can connect things in your automation script.
Sorry, can I just mention something there, Fernando?
Sure.
Actually, the release is not mandatory unless that's what your Jira project settings are being configured as. So at the moment, you may have a project in your settings for that project. If you go to project settings, when you go into the Vansah app settings, it's probably important. It's all driven based on how you use the product. So under your miscellaneous, or if you look at miscellaneous, so it's all based on what you've set there. So if you've enabled release, now releases is obviously your versions that you've set in your Jira project. So it's all driven by that. It's important.
Okay.
Yeah. Environment, again, that's an environment that you've mentioned. So it's all controlled by that now. So probably prior to in version 1 of the API and the binder, it wasn't driven by Jira. Now it is driven. So if you disable them, but I guess in your case, you've configured it, you've confirmed it as being mandatory. I just wanted to basically mention that.
Yeah.
It's all driven according, so you can take it from the settings in here.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Fadi. Good advice. Okay, and then you have Jira issue, which means the test case 133 is covering a requirement in our Jira issue. So it's always nice to have a test case covering a specific requirement, okay? So you are kind of linking your test case with the Jira issue, which means, yeah, you're testing a specific Jira issue with the test case 133, right? Cycle is optional and build is also optional, okay? Cool. Now we can go to our test method. I'm calling as test point exploratory. The first instruction is to create a new browser instance. I'm using Chrome. And the next instruction here is to load the test point website. Here, I'm adding a new test run. I'm passing the test case release environment, Jira issue, and build. All parameters are coming from here, this section here that I was explaining earlier. This is our first assertion that we want to test in the script. So we are expecting a specific element to be present on the page. So we are expecting object performance icon to be visible. And if the element is visible, we are going to send to Vansah test log, a test result. Okay. So add test log 2 means is a pass, is a success. You send a message, homepage successfully loaded. To the step 1, to the Jira issue, and true means yes, I want a screenshot for that specific step. And you pass the driver, which is the browser itself. This is required because we need this driver to be able to take the screenshot, right? If something goes wrong here, we do the same thing, but this time we pass 1 because it's a fail situation, fail to load the home page, step 1, and everything is the same. Step 2, we are actually clicking on a performance icon, and we are testing if the performance headline is visible on the page. Okay, line is 60, and then if the element is visible, we send another test log to Vansah, passing 2, success, message, but this time we are sending to step 2. Okay, Jira issue, true, driver. And if something is not visible, you do the same thing, but you pass 1 because it's a fail situation. Okay, so I'm ready to run this. Let me just press play. We should be able to see Chrome opening soon. Test point website. The performance icon we are expecting is this one. Okay. That is anti-crawler protection. And then the performance page is displayed. Let's check our log. Yeah, don't worry about this red message just coming from the Chrome driver. Okay, so we were able to add the test run, and Vansah returns true. Vansah message, testing has been submitted successfully. You can also check the test run identifier, which could be helpful to find your test run in Vansah. We took the screenshot here, the screenshot taken. We create a new test log. You have the test log identifier if you want to have the ID. And then we took again another screenshot and create again another test log in Vansah. Okay, our script is passed. Everything worked fine. Let me just open Vansah now, and we can check results. Go back to project. Vansah. Let me try to open our case 133. And this is the one we are working with. Okay, so here in results column, you see a red circle, sorry, a green circle. It means this is the latest result for that specific script, that specific test case. If you click on it, a new tab is going to open for you, and then we can check the results. The test run is 4984. 4984, that's the one we just created. And then here you can expand. Again, we have our test script, but this time we also have our actual result with the message we sent from the automation script. So home page successfully loaded for the step 1, and performance page successfully loaded for the step 2. Okay. You can also drill down from here if you click on the settings icon. You have the result, the actual result, and also the screenshots can be found in here in attachment section. If you click, you can see the image. You can download from here if you want, which is pretty cool. And we can have more than one screenshot, so you can just navigate, click on those buttons. And the same thing applies to step 2. You can just check the screenshot and results and everything like this. Okay. Yeah, so let me just see if I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would like to show, how we can integrate your automation tool with Vansah for Jira. Yeah, I can close this.
Is the script itself, maybe the script you've used, I think that would be a great sample Selenium script. If you could make that available as well, we can probably, we'll make it.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
We can put it in a special group that we can create for the automation team. Anyone who wants to join, they can see the, apart from the binder, you could see the actual Selenium script using Maven. I mean, obviously, it's not just Selenium Maven. You could implement this for anything else, right? Like your own framework, or if it's using
Postman or Karate. Yeah.
So you would just do the same thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The knowledge base is this one, the Vansah API Automation Framework Binder.
Yep.
Yeah, you can find all the material here, and also I can attach the template, as you said.
Yeah.
Like the script, so you guys can have a look.
Yeah, I guess for those that are very eager to start automating using Selenium, well, there's probably people, a lot of us that may not have had experience with Selenium, so they can sort of use that as an example. But if you have got experience with Selenium, this is just a way that you could use the binder. Now, do you really need the binder to start integrating into Jira, Vansah Jira, or is the binder really just making it easier for you to not have to worry about the methods? Is that obviously why you've created the?
Yeah, that's a good question. The binder is, for me, is a more friendly way to start using or exercising this integration. You don't actually need to use the binder as long as you create the same HTTP calls to interact with Vansah. Yeah, you can use your own binder if you want, to be honest. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So really, the binder is just a way for you to access the methods, the API endpoints that allow you to integrate. But it also helps you because you don't have to, as you're coding, right? You're scripting, you can actually easily access those methods from the class.
Yes, that's right. If you want to change anything, you can just jump into the class and change as you go.
Beautiful. Okay.
We used to have the binder in a closed file, which doesn't allow the user to change the behavior, but now it's more open and friendly.